Hello, everyone. We just wanted to get started here right on time. We wanted to welcome you to our webinar tonight, and we're so excited to have Sherry with us tonight, sharing how to build your business with your own cookbook. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them in the Q&A area on your screen. You'll see there's also a chat button, but tonight we're going to be disabling this and using the Q&A area, so please only use that area for your questions, and we're going to try to answer as many of your questions as possible at the end of the webinar. You're also going to want to make sure you stay until the end for a special guest that I know you're not going to want to miss. Finally, we're going to be recording this session tonight, so if you do miss anything or you'd like to listen again, we will be sending you a link, so keep an eye out in your email for that. Now I would like to introduce our speaker, Sherry Mraz, better known as the Cooking Yogi. Sherry is a holistic health coach, a yoga instructor, a cooking instructor, as well as an author and a speaker. Sherry is a graduate of the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and has served as a mentor on their staff since 2009. She's certified through Teachers College, Columbia University, and by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. And she's also a member of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. Sherry's also certified in corporate wellness. And I know I'm excited to hear what Sherry has to share with us tonight, and I know you are as well. So I'm going to turn it over now to the Cooking Yogi.
Well, thank you, Barb. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Oh, good. Okay. So, wow, thanks for that great introduction. And Barb's pretty amazing also. Barb is a natural health practitioner and is sort of my right-hand lady and the brains behind the operation. So thank you, Barb.
Oh, you're welcome.
So tonight, we're going to cover a lot of information. So get your cup of tea or get strapped in. We're going to be covering your why, how to get started with this whole book writing process, the key elements of a successful book, how to create your cover, the recipes you're going to use, how to build your business with your book, and the most critical part of your book, the prime real estate. We'll touch on how much it's going to cost and how much you sell your book for. And mostly, I just want to help you stay on track. So always we start with your why. That really is the most important part of any project you take on, why you're doing it. So maybe it's to add more clients, do what you love. Maybe it's to leave a legacy. Maybe you just want to write a cookbook to hand down to your children or give to your family. But maybe it's to make more money, to build your business. Everybody has a unique message. So I've said this is for a cookbook. It doesn't have to be a cookbook. You really just want to make it your message. So my why really is just an internal thing that happens to me. It gets me up in the morning. I love to surround myself with amazing people. I've been a mentor for IIN for, oh my gosh, the last 6 years. And I love mentoring coaches and just, like I said, surrounding myself with amazing people. People love cookbooks. When I teach my cooking classes, I always hand out a recipe, and of course it has my contact information on it, which I suspect those recipes are tucked in their cookbooks or, stored away somewhere, but maybe not. But a cookbook, chances are that's going to stick around for a long time in someone's kitchen. And so when you create a cookbook, you're always on their mind, really. So the key elements of a successful book. Clearly, you need the cover. You're gonna, as health coaches, I highly recommend you have a disclaimer in there so that you're not telling them that you're replacing medical advice. I suggest a foreword. a table of contents, and of course you have the body of the book. You're going to have your index, and when I mentioned before about your prime real estate, that is your back cover. And you really want to remember why you're doing this in the first place. You want to make sure that you're not missing any opportunities. So if you're doing a book, put in there maybe a free consultation. You don't have to put it in your book. It's a good idea to do it, but you can also maybe get a bookmark printed up or a postcard that you stick into your book when you sell it, or give it to someone, offering them whatever your service is, a consultation or the like. So getting started. This is pretty much how I felt when I started. It's overwhelming. So you really want to think about your business. Which type of book will benefit you the most? If you're a trainer, you're going to want to write about performance, or maybe the recipes are for performance. If you're a weight loss coach, then you're going to want to use, your skinny remake recipes. Holistic health coach, you're going to use your most natural recipes, teaching people getting back to basics. You get the point. Remember, you are going to be using this book to build your business. I also suggest that if you have a small program, a lead-in, maybe to a 6-month program, that you keep in mind that this goes hand in hand with your book. So when I sell my cookbooks at my cooking shows, it's leading them into the process. So where do you find time? You need to set a writing schedule. And when you're doing that, think about your energy. It's not just time management. I always say it's energy management. If you are really clear-minded first thing in the morning, then choose that time to be your writing time. And where you write, you want to keep it as clutter-free as possible so that you don't have all these interruptions. I like to set timers for myself when I'm going to work on a project. Maybe you do a 90-minute segment, or 30 minutes, take a break, 30 minutes, take a break. It's up to you, but you really have to know your own energy. And you want to think about chunking out times. Like I said, 30 minutes, 90 minutes. If your 30 minutes isn't really going to work, I don't think, to write, because by the time you do 30 minutes and walk away, if you keep doing that to yourself, you're just going to feel like you're not getting anywhere. So I would set aside some pretty good blocks of time, and don't get distracted. Don't be looking at email, Facebook. I mean, that's your writing time. You stick to it. You want to put everything else on that back burner, and you can always you just work with your time limits and set deadlines. I think that is another key thing. For me, I literally was working on my book forever, but as soon as I said, I'm going to get this chapter done by this date, and write it on your calendar. So you chunk out your time, but you chunk out your deadlines. Okay, so the recipes, how do you decide? It is so difficult to, when you have a pile of, or a box of recipes, to figure out what goes first. So what I suggest is you want to organize your recipe cards, your clippings, your scraps, and put them into piles. And then you can see maybe a thread. Is this pile bigger? If it's all desserts, maybe that's your passion. And you can also ask your family and friends, if you were going to write a book, what do they think you should write about with recipes? Or maybe it's just a book. What do they think? Because sometimes we miss what is right in front of us. So someone else might be able to tell you better. But having those recipes or those scraps organized, and then you can see which pile maybe is bigger, And as I said, and so then you can start to hone it in and focus. So it's all in the title. It's not just your cover. Everybody I'm pretty sure has heard of Marie Forleo. She has a book. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember the title of it. You know, How to Get Any Man to Want You, something like that. Well, she said that she wrote that book originally as a health book and named it, you know, so many ways to get healthy, something like that. I'm just giving you the theme of the idea here. She had hardly anyone buy the book. As soon as she retitled it with that catchy name about getting any man to want you, it's pretty much published in every language now. So it really is important on the title. I'm not even going to say that's my book. I'm not going to say, and I ran a contest. That's how I did it. I ran a contest. I asked all the coaches to help me name it. And I wanted it to be about energy because that was my huge, most important talk at the time. And this book is a 12-week recipe book that I wrote for my clients. I was running a 12-week program, and every week I was sending them the recipes, the shopping list, and the menu for the week. And so I already had it done. But from that point on, it still took me about 4 hours. Yeah, I wish. 4 years to get the book published. So sometimes we have all this stuff right in front of us. You know, you have enough to create a book, but you just, for whatever reason, you don't get yourself out there and get it done. So the cover is important. I suggest if I was doing it over again, I would hire someone I took that picture. I went to the green market, came home, snapped the picture. But I mean, it's all fine. But when you really want to get a book and look professional, if you get some help, it's really, I think, a lot better way to do it. So you really want to keep it as simple as you can. I, as I said, am a mentor. I had one of my students, and forgive me if you're on this webinar, but she had told me that she had been writing a book forever and she kept changing it, and she's really, really intelligent. She's got a master's, a PhD, a master's on top of like she just kept going to school and kept working on her book. And I asked her, how many pages do you have? And she said, oh, I have about 400. Oh my gosh, it's done. Stop, just stop. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. That's probably enough to chunk it down and create 4 books. So you really want to keep it simple. I personally have learned the hard way to never do more than what is necessary. You want to pick a theme, stick with it. You can always do a second or a third edition. The key is to have your layout and your purpose. Once you know the direction that you're going, you stick with it. You stick with one format, plug in your recipes, and like I said, you can always go back and add a little story or personality to it. That's what you want to do. You want to put some flair on it, but just write. Get your recipes, or like I said, it doesn't have to be a cookbook, but this is the theme of what I'm doing with you guys tonight. Whatever it is, you just write, get it in there, get like your bones of it done, and then go back and put some personality on it. You just want to make progress. Okay, benefits. There's a million recipes books out there. And I'm going to tell you, if you're a coach, I don't really know that people want the book for the recipes. They do, but what they really want is to know how it's going to help them. They want to know the health benefits. So if you can jot some bullets about the benefits, and then just, like I said, interject them, go back in and interject them into your book. It's really important. You want to be known as an expert. So hypothetically, you know, you have a recipe and it's got garlic in it. So maybe at the bottom of the recipe, you say, you know, garlic is an anti-aging food. It has many benefits. It reduces inflammation. It's an immune booster. It's improves cellular health, lowers cholesterol, blood pressure. If you're putting those benefits, it's going to help you become more of an expert and more credible with your people. And you don't have to make your book this huge, like I said, 400-page thesis. It's you can publish a book, an ebook, 10 pages. To go to print, you only need about 26 pages. Okay, so how are you going to build your business with a book? That's a radio shot there, and it's a good thing because my mother always says I don't sit like a lady, so it's a good thing it wasn't TV. So once your book is published, you can contact your local magazines, TV, radio station. You can write about it in blogs. You're going to be invited to do more talks. You want to let everybody know by word of mouth and post on Facebook, Twitter, maybe send an email. If you have a specialty book, promote that to your audience. For instance, if you're an expert on gluten-free cakes, how about maybe then you go to the bridal shops, contact your local wedding planners. You know, if it's a cake book, and if it's for health, maybe you're going to massage therapists, chiropractors, natural doctors. You just want to think of where the book fits and start to contact them. So let me just tell you a quick story also. And, you know, we're going to lead up to having a publisher, okay? It really is going to help you. When I did my book, I had no clue what I was doing. I took a book writing course and I paid $1,000 for the course. And I really don't think that I got that much more than what I'm going to give you tonight. It's really about finding your purpose, your reason, getting organized. You need a template, you need a publisher. When I first started, I used a service called Blurb or Booksmart. So I went on there, I wrote my book, I put my recipes in, it created this beautiful file. Mistake, you want to do your book in like a Word document and save it. So I did it right in Blurb. Now I have no original. And when I went to print, you know, I get the bill from the publisher. It was $31 a copy, and it was the small little 5x7 because I did color. When you do color, it's 2 or 3 times the price of a black and white. But if you're doing a cookbook, you probably want to have color. So you have to really know there are some ins and outs here that you need help with. I ended up selling that book, and actually I was selling it for under what I was paying because I felt embarrassed to sell it to my clients for more than $31. So I had to change publishers and get that whole thing worked out, which I did, I'm happy to say. So your back cover. This acts as an advertisement. Most of us want to put a bio and a headshot, but unless you are which you have to do, but this is my back cover. And I really was talking a lot about myself, saying, you know, my credentials, but unless, I won that Best Plate award, so I thought that was important to put that picture with my award. But unless somebody is really a big time celebrity, they're not going to buy your book for you. They want to hear your story, what you're about, but they're buying it for them. So there has to be an emotional connection. What's in it for them? So if you make the top part of all about what they're going to get out of it, they're going to pick it up and look at, everybody flips it over to look and see what the book's about. And if they connect with it, their chances are going to buy your book. You still need to put your bio at the bottom, and you need to have a headshot. I know some people don't like pictures, but you want to have them recognize you. They see it on Facebook. Always a picture is going to make that connection in their brain. And obviously you need to have an ISBN number. So that was my quick run through on what all you need to do to get yourself up and running. And as always, like I said, what gets me up in the morning, my goal is to help you succeed. Oh, I said cooking classes. Well, okay, cooking classes, but I meant a cookbook. And really, you just want to, you need to have the tools. So remember, just to reiterate, you want to keep it simple. You don't need a ton of pages, but what you do need is a plan. You need a layout. You need an ISBN number, and you need a publisher. There's so many pieces to the puzzle. It really can get overwhelming. I have a little mini template I put together for you coming from my own experience of writing a book. And I am super excited to introduce our guest speaker who I invited to help you take it over the finish line. So I have with us today Mindy Kalita. She is a certified professional coach, life design and relationships author, writing and publishing coach. I'm super excited to have you here with us, Mindy. You are also one of the nicest people that I've ever run across. So I'm feel so blessed to have you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So I want to share just a really quick little story that Mindy had shared with me, telling me how she got into this whole publishing world in the first place. So as a self-help enthusiast, Mindy had started out wanting to just write some how-to ebooks and getting them published online. And then her first attempt at writing her own ebook was Surviving the Puppy Stage, How to Get Inside Your Dog's Mind Without Losing Your Own. Love that title. And while her husband was editing her book, he started writing on legal pads. And when she questioned him about it, he said, well, kids aren't going to understand this book. And she assured him that this wasn't a book for kids, but a parent's guide. And he said, well, I think kids need an ebook, need a book they can relate to. So, and to become best friends with their puppy. So written from a puppy's point of view, the book Puppy Sense, The Kid's Guide to Puppy Care was born. And then in 2010, to publish this book and have control over the rights to their book, it was necessary for them to form their own publishing company known as Kalita Publishing LLC. And a whole new ball game coming from that perspective. So their book launch was held at a Barnes & Noble in Ohio in January of 2011. Doc and Rock, that's their real life dog and Rock from the book, were featured on the Good Day Columbus morning news show on Fox 28, and Puppy Sense was ultimately reviewed and endorsed by Jack Hanna of the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. That is super impressive, Mindy. Wow.
There's a whole story about that too.
You'll have to share it with me sometime. That is pretty impressive. So as your writing and publishing coach, Mindy has the knowledge and expertise to help those who wish to write their own book and publish it. Working with coaches and other service providers and being able to help them share their message with the world is what she loves doing. She is here to assist you in co-creating and publishing your book, keeping frustration and stress to a minimum, and successfully presenting your book to the world. A book you will love and want to share with others. Again, I feel so lucky and blessed to have you. Thank you for being here, Mindy.
And I feel lucky to be a partner with you. Excuse me. And I love talking about publishing your book and getting it out there, because this is one of my most favorite topics, because I went through the thing myself and I know how frustrated I was. And I know that you had shared with me, Sherry, how some of the frustrations you've had with your book, but you know how I feel about that. So your book, The Cooking Yogi, More Energy, Less Waste, in case you guys haven't read that one yet. But when you put your whole heart and soul into writing your book, there's nothing better than holding the book baby in your hand. A lot of people just want to do ebooks, which is awesome because that's what I started out wanting to do. But when I finally held that thing in my hand, especially the puppy sense, it was just, emotional,
Mm-hmm.
So, but as exciting as that is, to write your book and get it published and launch it to the world, you're really giving a piece of yourself. You're sharing a piece of your soul, and you will find that out when you start writing, that a piece of your soul is coming out. And that's really the gift that you have to give. You might be wondering why this girl's bending over backwards. So many of us coaches and service providers feel that, we're bending over backwards trying to get this thing done. And, we're just really trying too hard. And I've always thought, this has got to be easier. It's got to be easier than this. What I mean by that is that we're always, trying to get the social media posts out. We're writing more blog content. We're investing in Facebook ads, and we're working so hard chasing our client and trying to connect with our audience that we forget, sometimes like, why in the world am I doing this in the first place? I'm sure you guys can relate to that at some point in your life. Or maybe your experience is that you've been spending a lot of time and energy exchanging emails and meeting up with potential clients again and again, explaining over and over your services and how you can help them without seeing the results you've expected. So, well, there is an easier way to give your clients a taste of your niche, your coaching style, your unique voice, and a low-cost way to experience you as a introduction of who you are and what you're passionate about and how you can work together. There's something you can do. Coaches, if your marketing plans haven't been working as well as they once did, maybe it's time to stop working so hard to get your message out. Start attracting larger audiences. Establish relationships, credibility, trust, and expert status, all with one easy-to-create content marketing tool, your signature book. So that puts everything like in one place, right? I work with coaches and service providers whose marketing plans may not be working as well as they once did. And so putting that book together is an ideal way to solidly establish yourself in a relationship with your ideal client as they read and hear your authentic voice through the words and pages of your book. So why a signature book? Your signature book is an ideal way to do this, to establish those relationships. In other words, this book is who you are. Writing your signature book can help potential clients get their foot in the door of your coaching services, try before they buy, so to speak, at a low cost investment, and get a good feel for who you are, your coaching or business style, and how you can help them get to where they want to be in their home, work, or life. Clients just want to work with people they like and can relate to. So being authentic and real and sharing the real you will attract your perfect ideal client. And that's what we're really after, right? We don't want to work with people, attract people who don't really want our services.
Mindy, I always say they need a signature like class. So this makes sense. A signature book, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Your
book. Yeah, I understand. Your book will be the catalyst to experience your passion, for them to be able to experience your passion, because the way you write the book is going to bring out who you are and the way that you express yourself. So they're going to be able to feel that passion in you, and for your personality to shine through and to have them rushing back for more. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
So you may be falling into one of these categories. You may be one of those people that says, I've never even thought about writing a book. Or I can't write a book. I'm not a writer. Or maybe you're thinking, I might be able to write a book, but I don't know where to start. I'm ready, but I feel overwhelmed with all the technical stuff, which is where I was when I first started too. My book is written and I need publishing guidance and services. So you may be in one of those categories. Yeah. But you know what? No matter where you are, you're right exactly where you need to be. So if you desire to take that next step to creating and publishing your signature book or series for your business, Sherry and I can help you get there. Sherry is dedicated to your success, and she has teamed up with, and I've teamed up with Sherry to help make your dream to write your own book and publish it a reality. The publishing process doesn't have to be lengthy, overwhelming, frustrating, or hard. It is my mission to, and Sherry's too, to make it as easy and painless as possible. So Sherry's got this awesome template that's very clear and easy to look at. I have some submission guidelines that will take you through each step of the process. And I also offer an affordable and versatile publishing services and packages. Then once you get through with that, you will be on your way to focusing on and doing what you do best. And that is coaching, teaching, writing a book that attracts your ideal client. So, let's see, what else do we have, Sherry? Do you think, is a signature book right for you? That's something that you have to find out for yourself. You have to just think, do I need a signature book, or is this going to be helpful for me? But if you finally say that you do, allow us to help you get to that point and do what top coaches, industry experts, and media superstars all have in common. And they've all written a book. And I believe, and Sherry does too, that you can too.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it really is a painful process. I mean, as I had said before, it took me 4 years just to get my book out there and done, because there's never really a right time. You can, it's one of those things you just keep pushing to the back burner. The thing I love about what you do is, if you set those deadlines and someone works with you, it will just move it forward. Otherwise, you can try to do it on your own. I did it on my own, and like I said, it took me forever. When I set the deadlines, it definitely helped, but I was still like, it's very chaotic in your mind because you can't figure out which publisher, how to, the bleed, the margins, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. So you having that expertise is, oh my gosh, so valuable. Okay. So, I think we talked about this, what I
offer.
Yep.
Yeah. Your book content is written. This is where you are. Your book content's written, you're ready, or, you don't have it. And we have all these different services to plug in no matter where you are in the process. Okay. But we take care of the technical stuff, so you don't have to. That's the most important part. We offer publishing services for ebooks, paperbacks, custom interior formatting, cover design, proofreading, and assistance in setting up those online publishing accounts. So with me, I work exclusively with CreateSpace and Kindle, with distribution to all the online outlets. So this would include Amazon, definitely, and Barnes & Noble. And there are so many other outlets that you've never heard of, okay, that are available once you do that extended outlet distribution, and that is totally free. So it's a really sweet deal. You could go to lots of different places to do this. Some of the major marketing people that I'm hooked up with publish their books through Amazon. So I'm like, well, if they want to do it that way, and that is the best way for them, I'm sure that it's the best way for all of us, because they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't. So, this is,
I think, Mindy, there's something about, like, when I know for me, when I'm out doing a class and somebody says, how can I get your book, if they don't want to buy it right then? And when you say, well, you can get it on Amazon, there's just something about that they feel like, oh my gosh, it really must be good. It's on Amazon. It really is a whole mindset thing. So, and then these days, I don't think that that traditional like publishing, you know, you're trying to get somebody to like pick you up and they're going to pay you for the book. It doesn't exist as much these days. And for business, it's so not necessary. You just want to get your book done and you own it.
Right.
And it's so much better that way. So I know that's a big question people always ask is, what if I, you know, what's the difference between self-publishing or getting someone to publish me? But that's a painful procedure. And I don't think, I know someone who did that, but they actually ended up, even though someone was going to pay them for their book, it's still, there's a lot of expense, isn't there? I mean, don't they still have to pay?
Yeah. And then
designer
but the publishing companies usually don't do the marketing for you.
Right.
You would have to get an agent to do all that stuff. Not necessarily to promote you, you know what I mean? So even if you went through a publisher, they are not going to actually, you know, do the marketing for you. You have to do it. And personally, my husband and I have been through almost every type of marketing you can think of. We've gone to the schools with it, which that is an awesome thing. I was putting together my PowerPoint presentation, not my PowerPoint, but I had a video I was going to show the kids at a school, and they were gathering. And so I was, you know, busy looking at my computer and looking down. I looked up and there were 400, they told me there was going to be this many, 450 little eyes.
Yeah.
So double that because there's 2 eyes, but looking at me and I'm like, oh my goodness. And we talked about how to write if you're a writer and how to be an illustrator if you're an artist. So we had like 5th and 6th graders talking back and forth about, I love to draw pictures and I love to write. And I said, you guys need to get together and do a book. So
cool.
It was so amazing to hear them asking questions like, how did you even start doing this? And how can I do this? Even as a child. And you know, some children have written books.
Yeah. You know, it is true. I mean, there's the gurus who, I don't know who the guru was that said it, but I think it was Dr. Wayne Dyer who said everybody has a book in them. I don't know. I might be misquoting. It's so true. I think we all have that passion to leave some kind of legacy, whether you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do this as my calling card or for my business, but just to have your own book. Like you said, when you hold it in your hands, when I got mine, I'll tell you a funny story though. When I first got my book, because I had done it through Blurb, which I had said before, and it was like $30-something for that book, which was ridiculous. And it was so small. And when I got it, I should have been crying tears of joy. I literally broke down and cried. Like, I was disappointed because I thought, oh my gosh, all that work and it's this teeny little book and I spent that much money. And right then afterwards, I had to go through all that whole create space and figure it out on my own. At least I had that part done. But that's why it was such a painful experience, because then I had to pay them and get it all reformatted. And oh my gosh, you want to do it right the first time so you don't have to deal with all that. So that's why we're here. We're hoping we can help you and avoid all of that pain.
Yes.
So I have, this is how you get in touch with Mindy. I did put your email, but I think I have it on another slide. Yeah. So we did a webinar special today where you can get the template. Oh, it's going to skip over me. Okay. But you can get the template at $67. So you're going to save $30. And what the template really is, I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time on it, but it's just like organizes your brain so that you can know the layout. There is an actual layout. You don't just throw it together and Mindy takes over. I mean, at this point, I think Mindy, you would like to have it pretty structured before it comes to you. Is that correct?
Right. Your template would give them the actual way to put it together. So it'll be a guide on the side.
It's simple. It's simple. It just keeps them coloring in the lines is how I say. Right.
Yes. It's beautiful. And what I need for you to do is take that template that she has and put it in a Word document. Because you don't want to type on the template, but you want to type on the Word document. And that's what I need. So to take it to the formatting stage. So yeah, I even took a look at it this morning and it was just gorgeous. So, yeah, and we have some other things. Didn't we say we were going to throw in?
Yeah,
some
so we did. I did put out you gave me some of your frequently asked questions, which were amazing, by the way. I read them over again and I was like, oh, literally, I could think those would be the questions everyone would want to know. It walks you through how to go through this process. And also, I know you're offering that free consultation. So anybody who wants to talk to you about going through this process, they can just email you, right? That's how you want to do this. And so, so I have, let's see if I have it on here. Okay. Yeah. So on here, I put that's how you would grab the cookbook template. I call it a cookbook template because I'm the cooking person, but it so doesn't have to be a cookbook. If it's for, health tips, fitness tip, whatever it is, because there's no, it doesn't make a difference. You're doing chapters and you pick your theme and then you stick with it. And then you can contact Mindy or you don't, if you decide you don't, maybe you already have a little template thrown together. You might be a lot further along than, some others. So then just contact Mindy and she'll take you over the finish line. Yep. So again, thank you so much for being here. And
thank you for asking.
You're welcome. And I am going to actually have a coaching call coming up on this. So I'm sure there's going to be even more questions. So I'll probably be sending some more people your way.
Great.
And so thank you again, Mindy. And thank you all for being here. It was great to share this information. And
thank you, everybody, for allowing me to join you tonight.